Hello there and welcome to Sports Review on iBrandTV. This is a TV production that needs no introduction because right here we give you every sporting information you need to your utmost satisfaction. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on this show, and I can tell you, as usual, we'll be discussing the stories that are trending in the world of sports. A lot is trending right here in Nigeria. We'll be focusing on many of that on today's show. I can tell you that the Super Eagles, well, the Flying Eagles, which is one of the first things we'll be talking about, are in Abuja, and one man, the Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa, visited them right there in Abuja yesterday, and he's charging these youngsters to make Nigeria proud at the WAFU tournament that is coming up later in November. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the big one coming up right this weekend in Benin City. It's going to be the Super Eagles of Nigeria against Sierra Leone right there at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. Lots and lots of Super Eagles players are beginning to trickle in. The likes of Ahmed Musa is already around. Iheanacho, and we'll look at others that are already in the country. Then we'll move from there and talk about club football for a minute. Still about Nigerian football. It's going to be about the clubs that are going to be representing Nigeria at the CAF Confederation Cup and the CAF Champions League. The likes of Enyimba, Rivers United, Kano Pillars, Plateau United. The fixtures, their oppositions are finally out. They know who they will be facing in the preliminary tournament, and we'll be looking at that. And of course, there are still the Nigeria Professional Football League. While the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup fixtures are out, the Nigeria Professional Football League fixtures are also out. We'll take a look at all that and the games that will be going down on match day 1, and of course when the league will be resuming. And then we'll round off the show with basketball. There's a lot to talk about on this show, and if you step an inch away from the screen, you're going to miss a lot. When we return from this break, we'll dive right into all of this. I'll be your host. My name is Jidechi Chides here. Welcome back. You're still locked on to Sports Review right here on iBrandTV. I told you there's a lot we'll be talking about that involves Nigeria today on the show. How about we kick off with the Flying Eagles of Nigeria? Now, this under-20 team I expected, they are right now camped in Abuja, and they're expected to take on the likes of Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire in the WAFU under-20 tournament that will be coming up later this month. It will run from November till December, and it's going to be a qualifying series in order to see who will be making it through to the CAF Under-20 Championship later in 2021. And yesterday, it wasn't just training for them. It wasn't just training. They had the likes of the it was just him actually, the Super Eagles captain Ahmed Musa. He was in camp with them yesterday. Obviously, he arrived in Nigeria for the game that is going down in Benin City later this week actually, and he came into Nigeria yesterday and visited the under-20 side that were in camp, and he told them just one thing: they have to go to the WAFU tournament and make Nigeria proud. They'll be facing Ghana, they'll be facing Cote d'Ivoire. Can they make Nigeria proud? Well, only time will tell. Ahmed Musa has done his part. It's now left to them to do their part. Now let's talk about the Super Eagles. Musa expectedly is going to be moving from Abuja to Benin City. As at Monday, it was said that the likes of Musa, Iheanacho of Leicester City, Maduka Okoye, the new goalkeeper of the side, and of course Paul Onuachu are the men that are currently in the country. The rest of the players, many of them unfortunately are still stuck in Europe, and some of them are saying they are not even sure they are going to be making it in time for the game. Well, it's only because of many of the European countries right now are possibly expected to go on another round of lockdown due to the coronavirus, possible second wave of the coronavirus pandemic. And many of the players are right now stuck in Europe, and they are not sure if they would make it for the game. But the likes of Iheanacho, Musa, and Maduka Okoye, Paul Onuachu, and of course Onyeka, Etebo are all in the country right now. This game is going down right there in Benin City at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, but unfortunately it's going to be without fans. And Ahmed Musa is telling us one thing. He's saying that the Super Eagles they are going to be winning that game for the fans. The game is going to be without fans because the Ministry of Youth and Sport has said that due to the coronavirus pandemic, which is still out there is going to be an observed social distancing, and the best way to do it would be to have the game played behind closed doors. I'll leave you with this clip from the captain of the side, Ahmed Musa, as he said they are going to be playing this game to win it for the fans.
Okay, so we're preparing for the game against Sierra Leone. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, as you can see, we're just ready as we're supposed to be in camp today, but because we don't have flight, the flight is fully booked, and then we have a schedule for flight tomorrow, so everybody's expecting to be in being in tomorrow.
Okay, I'm talking about preparations being there on ground. You will be playing behind closed doors, no fans. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I think for me and for the team is a very sad moment, because I think playing in Benin, in the hometown of my mom, I would love to see my family members to watch, but there's nothing we can do because of the situation in the country with the pandemic, so we have to play like that. There's nothing we can do. Yeah, inshallah, we're going to do our best to win the game. Like, we know if we win those 2 games, we have already qualified to the AFCON. So we are doing all our best to qualify. And to the fans, we know what they need is just winning, and inshallah, we're going to do that.
Musa saying we would win it for the fans. Can the Super Eagles win it for the fans against Sierra Leone later this weekend? They play on Friday against Sierra Leone, and after that they'll be traveling down to Sierra Leone for the other leg of that game. It's going to be the 3rd and the 4th qualifying game of the group, and expectedly we can win those 2. Then who knows, we would be on our way to the AFCON that is holding right there in Cameroon in 2021. Another story around the Super Eagles right now is the story of Abdullahi, who has been called in to replace injured midfielder Frank Onyeka. Shehu was on the standby list that Enyimba named when he named the full list, and this would be the 2nd change that Enyimba is making due to injuries. Now let's move over from that and talk about something that is even more exciting. It's the return of the CAF Champions League, and our teams are expected to kick off in earnest. The likes of Enyimba, the likes of Plateau United are all expected to take on their oppositions in the CAF Champions League that will be coming up later in November. It's going to be running, the first leg of the competition will be running between 27th to 29th of November. And Plateau United and Enyimba, they now know their oppositions. Plateau United will be taking on Simba of Tanzania, and of course Enyimba would be welcoming Bahimo of Burkina Faso later in November. The 2nd leg of the qualifying game, this is just the preliminary round of the competition. After this, they are still the first round, and if they can do well in these 2 rounds, then hopefully we get to see 2 of our teams into the group stages of the CAF Champions League. And it's not just the fixtures of the CAF Champions League that is out at the moment. The fixtures of the CAF Confederation Cup is also out. Rivers United and Kano Pillars are the 2 teams that are going to be representing Nigeria in that one. They'll be representing the Nigeria Professional Football League, and those 4 sides are expected to kick off. Well, it's going to be rolling concurrently with the Champions League, which is the first leg will be going down between 27th to 29th. So hopefully they get to pick a date between that period. They are going to be taking on Rivers United, are going to be taking on Futuro Kings of Equatorial Guinea, and Kano Pillars are going to be taking on ASC Jarafa of Senegal. These both sides will be traveling for their first game. They both play away from home for their first leg, and then they return to Nigeria by the 4th to the 6th of December to take on their oppositions. So are we expecting Plateau United, Enyimba, Rivers United and Kano Pillars to do it and do well to make it through to the group stages of the CAF Champions League and CAF Confederation Cup? The answer to that question would be between the 27th to 29th of November and the 4th to the 6th of December. Now, aside that one, another fixture is out, and it's the fixtures, well, not just one fixture, it's going to be lots and lots of fixtures. The fixture for the entire season is out, and it's none other than the Nigerian Professional Football League. I can tell you it's good news everywhere. Everyone is excited. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting. It's been postponed, it's been shifted a couple of times, but now the date is finally official. The fixtures for the 2020-2021 Nigeria Professional Football League season is finally out, and the season is expected to kick off in December. It's going to be the first weekend of December, and these teams will be slugging it out against themselves after having been out of football for so long. The season ended abruptly because of the coronavirus pandemic that troubled so much activities earlier in the year, and finally the players can get back on the field and exercise those legs that are possibly tired by now. Now let me run you through the fixtures for match day 1 of the Nigeria Professional Football League that kicks off on the 6th of December. It's going to be between Adamawa United and Kano Pillars right there in Gombe. Remember, we also talked about the game and the stadiums that their stadium was not approved. Well, their stadium is expected to undergo repairs before it can be approved for the league. They are expected to play at the Bauchi Stadium, the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium in Bauchi. They take on Kwara United. Enyimba, one of the few stadiums who had their stadium one of the few teams who had their stadium approved, the Enyimba International Stadium would be hosting the Abia Derby between Eyimba and Abia Warriors. That one will be going down, and it's the big one for the weekend. Well, all the games are expected to be the big ones for the weekend because it's the return of the league. Rivers United will be taking on Rangers International. That one will be holding at the Adokie Amasiameka Stadium. Remember, the Rivers United Stadium is also one of the stadiums that were not approved. They play at the Liberation Stadium, but now they will be taking their football from the Liberation Stadium to the Adokie Amasiameka Stadium. The other derby for the opening day would be the Uyo derby between Aqua United and Dakada SC. That will be going down at the magnificent Godswill Akpabio Stadium right there in Uyo. Jigawa Golden Stars will be taking on Sunshine Stars. They are expected to play at the Muhammadu Diko Stadium right there in Katsina. Jigawa Stadium was not approved, and this LMC is saying that Jigawa is not even expected to work on the stadium. Possibly if they get to work on it, they might get back to it. But for this season, they're expected to be playing their games at the Muhammadu Diko Stadium in Katsina. FC Fanyuba, who is also one of the teams that had their stadiums not approved, will be taking on Lobi Stars right there in Aba. They are expected to travel down to the Enyimba Stadium in Aba, or drive down to Samuel Ubemudia Stadium in Benin City, the new one right there in Benin City, where the Super Eagles will be playing this weekend. The last game of the day will be between MFM and Warri Wolves. And MFM are no longer playing at the Agege Stadium. It's now going to be holding at the Teslim Balogu Stadium. MFM Stadium Agege was one of the few stadiums that were disapproved by the LMC. Well, the stadium is said to need new upgrades or possibly undergo repairs before they can go back to that one. But for the meantime, they'll be holding their games at the Agege Stadium in Lagos, and that's going to be it for the match day 1 of the Nigeria Professional Football League that returns the 6th of November. Are you excited that the league is finally back? I am excited. I don't know about you. I can't wait to see Heartland take on Katsina United, and the good news is that the league is likely going to be on TV this season. Hopefully I get to see Heartland also win the league. Well, I don't know what you're thinking, but Heartland is my team, and I want my team to win the league and not yours. Now let's take a dive from there, go local and move international for a minute and talk about the basketball. It's gonna be NBA returning on December the 22nd. Basketball fans, I know you're happy right now. Yes, the NBA is finally back. The last season ended in October. It shouldn't have ended in October, but it did due to the coronavirus pandemic that disrupted lots and lots of sporting activities this year. The season ended in March, but the playoffs was held in October, and it ended with LeBron James leading Los Angeles Lakers to their 17th title, their 17th NBA title after 10 years away from winning it. They did it in a marvelous fashion over Miami Heat, and finally, after just 2 months, the league is expected to return. It's going to be a festive season full of basketball, and basketball finally returns to your screen if you're a fan of that one. The players and the management of the league reached an agreement over scheduling salary figures and free agency dates, and they all settled down and agreed that the season is going to be an abridged version, a 72-game season, which is not the usual. But this time around, it's going to be a 72-game season because of the fact that the season just ended about a few months ago. So they are not trying to stress the players as much as possible. It's going to be an abridged season, just 72 games, and the season is expected to end as soon as possible next year in start for the next season that will be starting October 2021. And hopefully we get to see another masterclass. Possibly it might not be James this time around. It might not be Los Angeles Lakers. It might just be another team. I love Miami Heat. They lost it this season. I hope to see that they get to win it this season, this new season that is starting in December the 22nd. This is where we'll call it a wrap on today's edition of the show. It's a sad one, I know, but we'll be back another time. It promises to be exciting as usual on the show. Ensure you join us next time. We'll be back some other time because he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. We'll be back some other time as I promised. Until next time we come your way, ensure you stay safe. My name is Jidechi Chideze. Goodbye.